Well, hello everybody, and how you doing? I hope I want to see if anybody's here. Don't think they are. I'm not sure because I can't see it on YouTube. But anyway, here to do a Q&A, so you can ask some questions and stuff like that. I was fortunate just to get my internet back on because the cable guy was here and didn't fix the internet. And so, because I wanted to get, since doing more stuff on the internet, I wanted to make sure I could get in, plug in with Ethernet to give myself a little bit more power when I am streaming. So that way we could do that. Oh, well, I am live. So very good. Hello, Grant. How you doing? Thanks for joining here. Grant's going to be moderating. Looks like himself. So I just wanted to give this a try, and I'm wondering if I could like add Twitch while I'm here, and I don't think I can add it to the broadcast, so maybe not. Just trying to do more things. So, but yeah, so stay on for a few minutes, see if anybody joins. If not, no big deal. It was a good experiment, but I am live. The comments are coming in, and Grant is a moderator. So I'm going to try a couple things with him. I'm going to put him in time out. Let me see what that does. Oh, he got blocked for 5 minutes. Sorry about that, Grant. Let me see if I can bring you back. I guess I can't. Oh, well, at least we know how that works now. So anyway, somebody had asked if I planned on opening another store or wanted to open another store here in Las Vegas. Well, of course. But the thing about it is I've asked several people and read a lot, of course, about businesses and stuff like that. And they say that actually a second location isn't double the work or twice the work. It's like 10 times the work. And I know how much work I put in to try to open up the first one as far as looking at spaces, putting in letters of agreement, offers, all that kind of stuff. It was just a lot of work. I mean, I had to look at, 30 places around the city, because every place has its plus and its minuses, and no place is perfect. So, that's just part and parcel of the business. But yeah, no, we're happy where they are. It's kind of like your house, right? I mean, I'm sure most people would love to have a big or a different house, right? With all the things they wanted, the little toys, nice 2-3 car garage, pool, sauna, jacuzzi, game room, in-house gym, all this kind of stuff. But you're happy with what you got and you're comfortable there, So it's kind of the same thing with Meepleville. Very happy with the place and everything. It would be nice to have all the bells and whistles, a lot of things that I've learned over lessons that I could improve on to do things better. Of course, it'd be good to have that kind of stuff, but I am happy with the situation, happy where we're at, and it's just good to keep on improving and be there because, again, after this pandemic and after everything's over, when we open up, we will be debuting our Meepleville 2.0. It won't look a lot of different. It won't look different, but a lot of the programming, a lot of the things we have going on, some menu changes, some layout of the space and all that will look different, and it'll be better because it'll be a lot of lessons learned. So that'll be a really good thing. But Grant should be out of timeout in a couple of minutes. So sorry about that, Grant. We'll see. We'll have you pop back in here. It was just an experiment to see how this thing works. But everything's been going good on the YouTube channel. Just did a couple of more interviews this week, so they'll be coming up soon. And you will have a chance to see them in the coming weeks. So I've got 3 interviews that are in the can, I guess is the vernacular, I don't know, that I've already filmed. And so just got to do a little bit of editing, make the thumbnails, upload them to YouTube, and they'll be coming out once a week. Then coming in January, on Wednesday, January 6th, will be debuting a new show on Board Game Geek. That's right, on the Board Game Geek channel. So we'll have some friends. We'll be talking about games, the industry, content creation, a whole bunch of different kind of things. So please join us there starting Wednesday, January 6th. That'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time and every Wednesday thereafter. Great group of people, and it'll be a lot of fun. Other than that, Meepleville will be open on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Both days it'll be open from 12 to 6. Retail only, really. Won't be serving any food or anything, because it'll just be me in there for anybody who wants to come in for any last-minute sales. And we'll be closed both Christmas and New Year's. Other than that, it'll be our regular hours. Unfortunately, our regular hours right now mean that we are still closed on Sunday, Monday, but hopefully we'll be opening that in the near future. I mean, the rollout seems to be going well so far, but of course, the more and more people you start injecting with the vaccine, then in 21 days from now, the situation's just going to double and be more complex, right? Because you'll still be vaccinating people, but now the people who need their second shot will be coming back also. So it'll all of a sudden double the capacity and the workload on all the people. My wife actually got it. UMC was the first hospital in the state of Nevada to receive the vaccine, and she was very fortunate. For some reason, she said that they just all of a sudden put up a walk-in for employees at the hospital, because she's a dietitian there. And her and 2 other women from her department went down and took the vaccine. So her arm hurt a little bit the first day, but the second day it hurt a lot. And then she also had sort of like flu-like symptoms, but without a fever. She felt a little feverish, and sometimes she felt hot, but she wasn't. And then, a little chill sometimes. And then today, because this would have been, so she got shot on Tuesday, and then was it Monday? No, Tuesday. And then today she's fine. And her arm doesn't hurt as much or anything. Oh, there we go. He's back. Sorry about that, Grant. That was just an experiment with the timeout feature there. So now since you'll be moderating, you will know how that works. So we have somebody there. I don't know who that is. Hello. Welcome. Good to have you here. Yeah, so also veterans, right? Grant said his father might at the VA, and also I think his father has, I don't know, he might have health issues. I mean, I have health issues too. Have immune deficiency. So I may be in the group of people that needs to get it. And there's Jeremy joined us too. Hello, Jeremy. How are you? Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And I don't know who Overfeed Barley is, but welcome. Thanks for having here. So they've been coming to Meepleville for about a year. Well, thank you, and continue to keep coming, because it'll only get better. You if you've only been coming for about a year, then unfortunately 10 of those months have been horrible. So hopefully you'll get a chance to see it when it's in its glory. I mean, we were doing fantastic. It was doing really, really well. It was to the point that both Grant and I were actually gone. We were up in Reno at Gamma, and Trung, he was running the place all by himself for the entire week, and it was doing really well. So things were going great, fantastic. And then boom, the hammer comes down and we are shut down. But things are looking up. So does anybody have any questions? If you do, just post any questions. I will try to answer them as best and as honestly as I can. Do we play Werewolf still? Oh, yes, we do. And we'll actually be doing more, because I'll be making sure that I'll be moderating sessions. Because the thing about our Werewolf group is a wonderful group of people. And let me tell you something. They were seriously hardcore into playing Werewolf. And what happened, though, unfortunately, is because it was a lot of the same people, and they were coming Mondays and Wednesdays, so twice a week they were playing. They really got to know each other, really got to play the game. So they would just start making up weird characters and stuff and all of this really, really meta stuff. And then what would happen is a brand new person would come in, somebody who maybe wanted to play Werewolf for the first time or maybe had played Werewolf only once. And they'd be extremely intimidated and felt out of place because the other people, unfortunately, were just playing their meta game in this really hardcore style, and sometimes would just totally steamroll, newbies and people who weren't too familiar with the game. So we'll definitely be making sure that when we do Werewolf again, we will have always, like every night, the first game, because it could even be a quick one. It'll be like basic, straight up vanilla Werewolf with maybe a couple of the, real important characters that are almost in every scenario, like, the Seer, maybe a different type of werewolf, a bodyguard or something, but a couple of characters so they get the idea. So people just get the idea how to play, how the day goes, how the night goes, how nominating goes, and all that kind of stuff, how voting goes. And then we can start getting into the really weird character stuff. We should probably also make cheat sheets, so that way people know exactly the full powers of different kind of characters, and they can look at that. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing Werewolf again and looking forward to that. Just looking forward to getting people back in, doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, and as Grant says, they were one of the most dedicated groups that came in because, as I said, they were consistent. People were coming twice a week playing Werewolf Mondays and Wednesdays. So we'll definitely be bringing that again in the future. And also some of the other groups that we have added Pinochle, and we have added Bridge. And right now, Bridge is only one day a week on Tuesdays. So if anybody out there is interested in learning how to play Bridge, well, actually, we're not really teaching it yet. This is just the Las Vegas Bridge World has moved into Meepleville, and also the Spring Mountain Bridge Club as well. So we'll be going to 2 days a week in January. That'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sessions start at 12:30. So you can come and play Bridge, but you need to bring a partner to do that. We also have a very active backgammon club. They play Tuesday nights. You can come and do that. I'm trying to get a chess club in there. So I've had a couple of people approach me, but haven't really followed through on that. But I'm really looking forward to trying to get that in there and build chess up as well. In the Spades, hopefully they'll come back. Spades was a small group, but a very dedicated group, like Grant said, with the Werewolf people. And they were there every single Friday at the same time. The same lovely people came in to play. And so hopefully we can get that again. But again, if anybody would like to bring a group in to play games or do whatever, please just let Trung, Grant, or I know, and we'll definitely try to work something out and get you in there, because we just like having as many people as possible, doing as many different activities, playing as many different kind of games as they can. As a matter of fact, tonight at 7 o'clock, the Euchre, that's right, I forgot about them, the Euchre group will be in there. So we've got Euchre. They've been with us for about 2.5 years as well. Another very dedicated group. When they were, before COVID, it's like everything. Yeah, it's so BC, right? You know how the calendar says BC? Now it's got a second meaning before COVID, because BC, before COVID, Euchre used to take up the whole upper area. They'd get like sometimes 8 tables, like 32 people, and sometimes even more, because Dawn, who runs it, she'd be sitting down, maybe talking to people or just scoring or doing whatever. But yeah, they were just really, really active, great group playing a game. Euchre is like a trick-taking game, and it's primarily played by people who are from south of the Great Lakes in the United States. So any of those states, I'm not familiar with all of them. I know Michigan is one, and I think a little bit of Wisconsin. New York, right, has the Erie, Lake Erie part of it, Pennsylvania. So anybody who lives around the southern part of the Great Lakes knows Euchre. So, Steven, why are you restricted? I don't know. That's weird. Oh, see? Who is that? Lan Terry Kozar. See, he's from Michigan. He can vouch for me and say that, yes, Euchre is true. Yep. And I have been to Michigan. I've been to Michigan once. I don't know what part of Michigan you're from, Larry. I went all the way up to the Upper Peninsula, the Upers, I know they're called there. I went to a place called Drummond Island to film a reality show. I was on a reality show called Fat Guys in the Woods. So you can look it up if you want to see me on that show. It's pretty good. I had a lot of fun. Fat Guys in the Woods. It's season 2, episode 5. Season 2, episode 5, Fat Guys in the Woods. You can see what I did on that reality show up in Drummond Island, Michigan. I had a fantastic time. And thank you for joining us here, Stephen, even though you're restricted. Don't know why. What does that mean? It's a restricted feed. Did I do something to that? I don't know. But anyway, you're here. So it's good to have you here. Let me see. What else we got going on in Meepleville? We're still adding games to the library. Not as many of the new games because, right, we just don't have as many people coming in to play, but we like have Calico in there. We have Tekenyu. Some other things too. So we're still adding the new games. So Larry wants to know, I want to drive. Oh my, yes, I'll check it out. How are the other 5 people in the UP? I guess it's funny because I did a little research. Of course, I forgot now, but the Upper Peninsula is weird, right? Because it's actually connected to Wisconsin, because it's got that little band that comes out and, they got a line. So I read the story of how that happened, how Michigan was split from the Upper Peninsula part, but that's just weird. Like when you look at a map, you're like, why isn't it Wisconsin? And why is it Michigan or whatever? It's just it's a strange geography. But they used to have a show actually on cable TV called How the Lines Were Drawn or something, or how the states got their shapes. That's what it was. How the states got their shapes. And they explained a lot of things about that because, that is really cool and interesting up there. Let me see what else is going on. Hopefully we'll be getting you some of the Essen games, some of the releases that came out. It usually come out in October, and Essen will be arriving in the United States starting about now, late December, early January. One of the ones I'm looking forward to is Hallertau. That is a game by Uwe Rosenberg, who is one of my favorite designers. It's a big box game, going to be as big as one of his games, Caverna. So I'm really looking forward to that. Castles of Tuscany, a whole bunch of things waiting to get that are already out in Germany, but they haven't quite hit the United States here. So let me see. Steven says, we're always trying things at Meepleville, maybe a minor league team. What's next? Well, speaking of teams, though, because Las Vegas did get a brand new baseball stadium for the Las Vegas 51s, the baseball team. And I believe that's right up by you, Stephen, right? In your part of town. A beautiful brand new stadium up there. We also got the Golden Knights debuted here 2 or 3 years ago. And I think they made it all the way to the NHL, the Stanley Cup, right? Their first year or close to it or something like that. And then we have the Las Vegas Raiders now. So have come to Vegas. Unfortunately, the beautiful brand new stadium. And let me tell you, you drive by that thing, you take a look at it, it is awesome looking. I would dare say it is the finest looking stadium out of all of the stadiums. It's fantastic. So we got a brand new football team here too. Do we have a solid line to German games? Used to, as I said, at Essen. I didn't go last year. I went in 18. Steven goes every year. He's on and he used to bring back games for me. I would put in requests and he would be my Essen mule, as they call him. And he would bring back games to me. But I mean, I probably could. I mean, I know quite a few people over there, but it's just wait. It's sort of like Kickstarter, right? If there's something you really want, so it's just wait for it. So they'll be here soon enough. Because Asmodee, I believe, they are the ones who are going to be carrying Hallertau, which is the one I was just talking about, the Uwe Rosenberg game. So we'll definitely be getting that in, and the other ones. So they'll be trickling in slowly but surely. So where did the Meepleville name and logo come from? So that's a good question. A lot of people, board gamers, right? We're the only nerds who know what a meeple is and what a meeple means. But meeple came from, it's funny because they actually know the lady who came up with the word meeple. It's from the game Carcassonne. Carcassonne is a tile laying game. It's one of like the 4 classic games, I call it: Carcassonne, Pandemic, Catan, and Ticket to Ride. But Carcassonne is a tile laying game, and the little characters or pieces that they use in the game look like little people. Like you'll notice in Meepleville, we got that big cutout, the world's largest meeple, as I call it. But that's exactly what they looked at, like that kind of shape, just the head, the arms, and the legs. And when she was playing the game, she would keep saying, "Oh, my people," and she put it together just meeple, and like sheeple. There's that combination of meeple, and just became called meeple. And of course, ville is the French word from town, so that's how I put them together. But again, once the gaming community, meeple is just a very common word for game pieces that look like something, because even animals, they call them animeeples. For vegetables, they call them veggie meeples. So yeah, they're just like a generic term now for card game. And the logo, where is it? Oh, it's this side. It's because it's backwards. The logo right here is what I made. I did this myself, actually. It's just 2 meeples kind of overlapped. But my thought was, because I was playing around a lot for hours and hours and hours trying to figure out some kind of thing. And when I did that, I noticed that when you put the 2 meeples together, the crossover makes like a pawn. So I thought it was kind of like 2 meeples making a pawn, like a baby or whatever, but still a pawn, a game piece. So that's basically the logo. And of course, the hex right here is a common design for board game things like from Catan and stuff, right? So that's why I got it around there. Oh, there's my cat. Of course she's making an appearance during the stream. That's what I have to listen to all day, just so you know. She's out of control. Oh, well, thank you for joining us, Lan Terry Kozar. Don't know what your full name is, but thank you for joining us. And yes, nice meeting you. And hopefully you'll be back again to join us, watch our videos and all that kind of stuff. You're more than welcome. But thank you for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Stephen, what are you looking forward to playing? Actually, because I just did. Oh, yeah. So maybe that's where Lan saw me, is on Dice Tower. I did a top 10 today. They actually showed it today of the games that I was looking forward to playing in 2020. And unfortunately, I don't get to play a whole lot of the new games. So the only 2 that I've actually played this year was The Crew, which is fantastic. Actually, I played it, Steven. He taught me how to play that. I played it with him first. And I think we got to 28, I think is the highest we got to of the missions. So I love The Crew. And the only other one I played is Isle of Cats. So those are the only actual games from 2020 I played that are on my top 10 list. I played Tekkenu, wasn't a huge fan, so I might have to give that a shot again. But I'd love to play Castles of Tuscany. That was on my list. Praga Caput Regni from Vladimir Suchy. He was also the designer of Pulsar 2089 and Underwater Cities. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the Kiesling and Kramer game. I can't think of the name offhand, but yeah, I had a top 10 list. I should probably go try to find it. Pax Pamir. That's right. Pax Pamir. I want to play that again. We did sort of play that. Oh, speaking of Pax Pamir, I just interviewed Cole Worley yesterday. A fantastic guy. Had a great interview. It was really good. So he'll be coming up in about 3 weeks. I'll be posting that interview. But yes, Pax Pamir is another one I really want to dig into and get into. Because that looks like a fantastic game. It's so hot. People are loving it. But it's a little fiddly, in my opinion. I don't know what you thought, Stephen. But yeah, I definitely want to get into that. Lizard Wizards, Grant said. There's a follow-up to Raccoon Tycoon. Grant, you need to teach me Raccoon Tycoon. I haven't had a chance to play that yet. I know people love it. I've heard really good things about it. I mean, there's so many games I need to play that I want to play. But Lizard Wizards, yeah, that sounds like a good one. I'd like to get that. Final Girl? Was that a was that a typo, Stephen? Or is that a real game? Final Girl? Yes, Grant, that's a great idea. So Grant said, here, let me go ahead and put this up here so I can show everybody. Grant said, I think we should actually set up a more regular game day with you going forward in 2021. Maybe something where we are specifically playing games we are adding to the library for both of us. That is a fantastic idea. Yes, so that way we both have a chance to play them because again, yeah, I definitely need to do that. We're going to do that, Grant. Absolutely fantastic because I just get to miss you get to play a lot more games than I do because you actually take them home and you had roommates to play now. So, but yes, so your life is changing too. So you might need a new gaming partner as well because yeah, we could get together and start playing. Foundations of Rome. Yes, Steven says the Foundations of Rome. That is by our good friend Emerson Matsuchi, who was actually with us on the stream last week. So yes, looking forward to that. That's really good. Return to Dark Tower. That's by Rob Davio and his company Restoration Games. I interviewed him earlier in the year, so that'll be coming up as well. Here's Wilt. I love going to Meepleville pre-COVID. Hopefully things can calm down in next year. We can't wait to have you back. We really, really want to just get life back to normal, just like everybody does, right? So just really hoping. So yeah, be great to have you there. And thank you for joining the stream tonight. Really appreciate it and really appreciate you having here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, this is a real thing? It's a horror movie? Final Girl? Oh, by AJ. Oh, yeah, for Van Ryder Games. AJ is the designer of Hostage Negotiator. He's a fantastic guy. Him and Evan, they are the owners of Van Ryder Games. Oh, yeah, it's good. Yes, Detective City. That's another one. I think that was by Evan, right? It might have been by Van Ryder Games also. Oh, hey, look who just showed up. Trung is also here. So glad to have you here, Trung. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, right now at Meepleville, if you haven't been there in a while, you'll know you're going to see the same three faces anytime you walk in there. It's Grant, Trung, and me. That's it. We are the ones there all the time. So we are the ones you'll see coming into Meepleville. But of course, you know, we have some people kind of in the wings. And Heather, you know, she's there too, and she'll be, of course, working more as it builds up. And we have other people too who will be putting in more and more hours as it builds up. But yeah, right now it's mostly just the three of us, the three musketeers. Have I ever designed a board game? I have actually. But nothing that nobody knows or nothing that's been published. I've got about 4, 5, 6 of them, like in plastic bags hanging around. I was actually going to make sure that I got it done by the gathering, and I was going to bring one there. I had another one. I forgot what that was, but I'm sure I have it written down, the idea somewhere. But I will in August when we go back, so I'll make sure I have at least one that I have ready to pitch. But no, I haven't. I need to, right? That's one of those kind of things. It's kind of a bucket list thing for me now at this point to get a game published, but not just any game published. You want to get a game published that people actually enjoy and that people are playing, and maybe even a game that gets a little heat, maybe a lot of heat, like Wingspan, like Elizabeth did, right? I mean, wow. You know, wouldn't it be great? Isn't that great to have your first published game just blow up and you become a millionaire like instantly? That would be fantastic. But of course, that doesn't happen very often, does it? Because if you think about it, ever since Meepleville's been opened, we could probably name on one hand, right? Like the 5 games that are just have blown up. You guys let me know in the comments if you agree with me. Scythe, Terraforming Mars, Wingspan, Gloomhaven, and what would be the 5th? But those games, like, were I would argue with anybody. Arguably, I would say those 4 at least were the most popular, most bought, most played games of the past 4 or 5 years. Terraforming Mars, Scythe, Gloomhaven, and Wingspan. There might be a 5th or a 6th one there, but yeah, so it's, you know, she had one of the top 4 games, and I also interviewed her as well. She's lovely, and she'll be joining us in February on one of the shows. I already have her booked to come be on one of the new shows, as I talked about on Board Game Geek, Wednesdays, starting January 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. So you'll have a chance to talk to Elizabeth. Hello, Katie. How are you? Thank you for joining us here on the stream. Oh, and I guess Katie comes to Meepleville. I'm funny. I probably would recognize you by face, or I should say, half your face, right? that's how you see people these days, just by half their face. So probably when people take off their masks, you won't know who they are because just been seeing people from here up for so long now, right? So, right? I mean, think about it. Would you? I guess you would. I got this big ass forehead, right? So you probably recognize me from that. Oh, that was you too. Okay, yes, we saw you in there. Yes, yeah, that's right. You got to play a lot of Trung with a lot of games with Trung last night. So that's good. And thank you for becoming members. Yes. So anytime I'm there, anytime Trung is there, as you saw, he'll teach you games. Or anytime Grant is there, he'll teach you games. All three of us will be able to teach you more and more games. And again, let us know like how far, how deep, how broad, whatever you want to learn. We all have like a range that we can teach you of certain games. So just let us know. Yes, and Grant said he'll be starting working Wednesdays come January. Thank you, Grant. That'll be good. So he'll be in there. And then, again, with the vaccine, hopefully more and more people will be coming out. Oh, no, look what Steven brought up. Steven's doing this. Keep me talking. Thank you, Steven, for the whole. Oh, we got double-digit people watching now. So I've had many career jobs before this. What is the least known former Tim? What is the least known? Well, probably the least known. I'll give you a brief rundown. So I used to, when I kind of was in college and when I wasn't partying, which I unfortunately did an excessive amount of, I really wanted to work with kids and get into social work. So I started doing a lot of that, working with kids and social work. And then from there, I was out in the Central Islip, Long Island, working at a youth development corporation, helping kids in lower income families, lower income neighborhoods. We had a community center, trying to do stuff for kids. And I loved it. I really, really did. But it got to the point where we were spending a lot of time at the county offices, because I was living in Suffolk County, Long Island, in the county offices, or whatever you call them, lobbying, right? We would be there with signs and, petitioning the whatever people, trying to get more funding and more programs. So it really got, just wasn't a lot of fun. And then after that, I saw, long story, but I became an air traffic controller. And then I did that for 10 years. And then I resigned from that to become a full-time entertainer. I did comedy and magic on cruise ships for many, many years. I was a clown doctor. That's probably the least thing that people don't know about me, is I was actually a clown doctor. Got trained by the Big Apple Circus Clown Care. Went to clown school, the New York Goofs Clown School, and I was the supervisor at Miami Children's Hospital as a doctor clown, a clown doctor, right? Because, yes, not like a real doctor like you, Stephen. I was a clown doctor, going around making the kids happy, the parents happy. In the waiting rooms, we would entertain people and stuff like there. Because again, if you're in a hospital, it's not a good thing for the most part. So we were there just to bring joy to the family, the patients, the staff, right? The doctors, everybody in there to try to make them happy. And then I had a chance to live in England for 4 years. It was spread out over 4 years, but the longest length was about 2 years I was there or whatever. Brought my cats, brought my wife. We lived over there. Came back to the United States, moved back here to Vegas. And still went out and did a lot of cruise ships. And 5 years ago, opened up Meepleville because I wanted to stay inland and not travel so much. So that's what we did. Steven, he's a clown doctor too. Yes, he is. So just so you guys know, Steven is one of my closest friends here in Vegas. He is a belly doctor. It sounds so funny when he says that because the word belly is like such a layperson term, right? Like you would expect him to say, "Oh, I do internal medicine or something," but he's like, "No, I'm a belly doctor." Yeah, so he does. He works with all this stuff inside your belly, your intestines, your stomach, your spleen, your pancreas, whatever else. He does all that kind of stuff. So he does all that stuff. Paul is here. Paul joined us. Hello, Paul. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Please give my best to Teresa while you're here. Yes, it was a big transition from air traffic control. But it was air traffic control was a fun job. That was I love that because um, it's people say it's real stressful, but it is and it isn't, right? Because it's kind of like a fireman's job. We have the same terminology where it's 95% sheer boredom and 5% sheer, or 95% boredom and 5% sheer terror, right? Because when you're an air traffic controller, it's the same thing every day, the same planes. Because I worked in Miami at Miami Center, so we had the same planes coming down the Northeast corridor, from New York, from Boston, Philadelphia, DC, all those coming down off the Atlantic routes. Same coming down there, the ones coming across the Gulf, the ones coming inland or whatever, or up from the Caribbean, South America. The same call signs all the time, the same, planes, same routes, altitudes. Everything was fine. The sheer terror would come in when there was weather. And then you would have to, reroute aircraft, and they would be coming, like, say, in the same, the opposite direction of other planes. You have to worry about. So that's when it was a mess. But other than that, it was just. And again, once you become a professional at something, it's not like you're stressed, right? I mean, you're a professional. That's your job. So you just, when it gets the worst, is when you should be at your best when it comes to situations like that. So, yeah, we will be, so yeah, that's some of the stuff I did. And Paul, I was talking about Paul. That's right. So Paul is very active. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit later, Paul, because I have an idea and you can really help me. You can be one of my sources for this kind of thing I have, because Paul is all up. And because I just talked about that. He came in about a week or two ago with Teresa. And he just listens to podcasts all the time. He watches these video streams. He probably knows more about what's going on in the gaming world probably than anybody that I know personally, because he just is on it all the time. So he's a good inside source when it comes to board games, because he just spends so much time researching and listening and studying. So it's good to have you here, Paul. Thank you. And tell Teresa I said hi back. So Game Enthuse says they work with controllers and their descriptions sounds accurate. So the last system I used was Host. So you know what? I don't know the technical term, but we had the radar screens that had the cathode ray tubes, because our screens were computer generated. I didn't have the digital flight strips. We still had the paper ones. I was after the shrimp boats because I forgot when the shrimp boats, they probably left in the mid 80s probably, because I started in 89 or 90. And so we had the dark, right? I think that was when you checked your dark, because that was the backup system. I don't really know what it's called, but no, I never used the electronic airstrips, flight strips, or whatever you call them. And also I was in TMU, the traffic management unit. So the last 4 years, I think, that I was a controller, I was actually in traffic management, TMU. What traffic management is that's the section where we would coordinate with central control in Washington, D.C., to coordinate the flow of traffic coming in and out of Miami. So another was like weather. We had to do ground stops, or we had to do reroutes, or we had to put delays. I forgot what you call them. Or we had to hold plane, do all that kind of stuff. Then that's what I did, so that was fun. I really liked doing that. So Wilt is training to be a pilot. Yes. What's funny though, Wilt, is I did while I worked at Miami Center. See, there are let me see, 3 or 4 different types of facilities in air traffic control. You have a center, which is what I worked in. It's really called an ARTCC, Air Route Traffic Control Center. And what we did, for a very simple, basic layman term, if you take off from Los Angeles and you fly in New York, and you're going to New York, right? My question to you would be, once you're over Kansas City, who do you think is controlling you? That would be a center. We are the en route portion of the flight. And then you have the control towers, not the control towers, the, oh man, I can't think of the term, but like Miami flight something, I forgot what it was, but they will control like a 50-mile area, 20-mile area, whatever, around the airport. And then, because they had radar, but they had actual like real radar that, with the sweep and stuff. So their separation could be a lot shorter, tighter than ours. And then they hand it off to the towers. The towers are just like visual, where they can actually see planes, and they're the ones who take them off and land them and stuff. But yeah, it was a really cool thing. Good luck with your training, Wilt, to become a pilot, because I got to ride in a lot of cockpits, because we had a program called the familiarization program, where every year we got to do 7 domestic and 1 international flight per year. And for the first, I would say first 8 years, because I did it for 10 years, and I would say every year for 10 years, I took all 7 flights. And, to go back home, to go to a lot of Magic conventions I did back then. But yeah, I got to ride in the cockpit of 757, MD-11, MD-80, 747, DC-10, a whole bunch of different nice big planes. And of course, a lot of 727s and, the Fokkers and a lot of the smaller planes too. But so yeah, I got to see what it was like from your aspect. Terminal. There we go. Thank you, Game Enthuse. Yes. Terminal approach control. That's what it's called. Yes. That's right. Yeah. Terminal approach. There we go. Because a RAPCON. Yes. Right. Radar RAPCON. There we go. Radar approach control. Thank you. Yes. These terms are starting to come back. So a RAPCON, that's a radar approach control. And those are the ones who they're not all over the place. Cause I know like New York has a RAPCON, right? Because they've got, Kennedy, LaGuardia, Newark, Islip. What's the one out there in Islip called? I don't know that. But anyway, they got a lot of airports right there. So they have a RAPCON there, a radar approach control. And then you have a CRAP, right? Center radar approach control or something like they have in Puerto Rico. So got all these different kind of terms. So, but wow, got another person who knows about air traffic control and stuff. Yes. Let me see. What's Steven here? What's your favorite Vegas thing to do? Ever gamble? So yeah, I'll say I never gambled per se, because gambling is when the casino has the edge and they could potentially take your money. So I will say that I sat at many tables, but I didn't gamble. You can take that for whatever you want to. But my favorite thing to do in Vegas, I don't know. Because it's funny. I haven't done a lot of I feel embarrassed to say this. I haven't been to Mount Charleston, haven't been to Red Rock. I've been to Boulder City a couple times, but I've been to Hoover Dam. But my favorite thing to do in Vegas, I just like playing games and hanging out with my friends. But to do in Vegas, like my wife, she loves going to the Strip. She even just asked me, she's like, should I plan on you going to the conservatory in the Bellagio? And I was like, you know the answer to that? No. So let me see. I don't know, just hanging out and playing games with my friends. I don't drink, don't smoke, don't really party, don't do any of that kind of stuff anymore. So I don't go out to clubs, don't do that. Just more of a homebody. Don't go out, do stuff. But yeah, he was running Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam, yes, you're right. That's technically not in Las Vegas, but it's just right down the road, right past Boulder City. So it's not that far away. That's why I consider it Vegas. So sorry if I confused you there. What are you saying wow for, Steven? That I haven't done anything? Yes, I haven't. I really haven't. I feel embarrassed to say that. But I have been, and I've had the chance to perform at a lot of the casinos and done a lot of stuff. So I know a lot of the back entrances and stuff into the casinos, getting to the showrooms and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What do I like doing in Vegas in my spare time? Vegas has a lot of and Steven can vouch for this, right? Because he's a foodie, but the restaurants, I would argue, like even better than New York or Chicago, some of these big metropolitan cities. Vegas has everything and really, really good. So there's a lot of good restaurants, a lot of good places to eat here. Hello, John. Thank you for joining us here. I really appreciate that. And look at that. He's giving the love The show some love. Thank you. And again, hopefully, yeah, January 6th. Don't forget about that. I should make a little banner to put up there. January 6th on BGG. Will be premiering 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. Have some friends and stuff like that. How big is the gaming community? Let's bring Alan's comment up here. How big is the gaming community in Vegas? Love the channel from Costa Rica. Hope to be able to visit the store sometime soon. Well, bienvenidos, all the way from Costa Rica. I've been to Costa Rica quite a few times. I've been whitewater rafting there 4 times. Costa Rica is marvelous. It's fantastic. And just like a joke, why did the chicken cross the road? I actually saw a sloth cross the road. We actually had to stop the bus on a road, and it was the most painful thing to watch, because apparently sloths come out of trees only once a week to do their duty, and they come down on the ground because they're so. It was so painful watching him walk, because they are. It's unbelievable how slow these things move. I can't even describe it, but. But anyway, back to Alan's question here. How big is the gaming community in Vegas? The gaming community is quite big. But again, it's a lot. I guess it's all over the place. And again, you don't know everybody, right? Because here in the Valley, we have like 2 million people, I think. So, it's quite a big group of people. And we used to have the Las Vegas board game group, which Stefan started from Yellow back in like 2007, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 2007. And so, that's where I got to know a lot of people. Started from there. And then, there's a lot of, board game stores, or a couple of cafes. A couple of them closed because of COVID in Meepleville. But no, we have a really big community. There's also a lot of Magic players here too, because the Grand Prix, like there's a really big event here in Vegas every year. They have also a Warhammer kind of convention. So we got that. We got Dice Tower West, of course, which is canceled this year, unfortunately. I'll go ahead and make that announcement right now. Yes. So Dice Tower West, unfortunately, in 2021 has been canceled. But let me tell you, Dice Tower West in 2022 will be fantastic. So we're really looking forward to that. We'll give you more information. Just go look on the website, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is, and we'll give you more information. But Dice Tower West 2022 will be epic. But thank you, Alan. I really appreciate that, you watching the show all the way from Costa Rica, and we'd love to have you up here in Vegas. When you do, make sure you stop by and see us there. Yes. So thank you, Grant, for pointing that out. Yeah, this show that I didn't even say this show, this is just a Q&A for me. But the show we normally do on Thursday nights that we had been doing weekly, only went to once a month. We did the last one last week, that we will be doing in January, will be on Twitch. But it's not going to be exclusively on Twitch, Grant, though. But thanks for pointing that out. But because I think I can still broadcast here, you know what? I'm going to find that question out, and I'll make sure I let you know. But please do. It'll be on Twitch, but you can go directly to the Board Game Geek page, and it'll be broadcasting right there on the front page of Board Game Geek, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time, January 6th on Wednesday. So you can go ahead and watch it there. Meepleville is one of my favorite things to do when I travel to Vegas. Well, thank you, Dan, and thank you for coming. Yeah, we get a lot of out-of-towners. My really good friends, Amy and Maggie, who are all the way from Australia. Why I remember them so much, and they're so near and dear to me, is because I think it was the very first year I was opened. They found Meepleville, and they came in and played. And this first day they stayed for 5 hours. I think they came back the next day or a day later or something and stayed for 6 hours. And it just made me feel so good, because I was like, this is Las Vegas. I'm a little store just been opened, and these two ladies all the way from the other side of the world come to Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, and they spend 2 days, 10 hours total or whatever, in my little store. So just made me feel good, and I'll always remember them for that too. So thank you, Dan, and hopefully we'll see you again when you come back. Oh, and yes, here's something to answer Steven's question. The Pinball Hall of Fame. Wendy and I, we should go there soon, Wendy, the Pinball Hall of Fame. We haven't been there lately. We used to do that about once a month before, because not too far from our neighborhood, because we live on the east side, which is kind of the older side of Vegas, and not too far from our house, literally a 5-minute drive, if even 5 minutes, whatever. There was the Pinball Hall of Fame was right next to the Dollar movie theater. So yeah, I'm a big spender. That's what I did for my wife stick around for $1 movie and then go right next door to the Pinball Hall of Fame. But yeah, that is a great thing to do here in Vegas. And they were supposed to be moving down on the Strip, but they're still over there on Tropicana, right across from the old Liberace Museum over there. So, but that is a great thing to do here in Vegas. So any of you who ever come to Vegas, check out the Pinball Hall of Fame. It is phenomenal. Yes, you can play real 80s video games. Go ahead, put in the comments. Let people know, what is your favorite? My favorite video game from the 80s was Robotron. I don't know how many people even know that game. It's a double controller. I love that game, and they have that there, and I get to play it. But they do. They have Centipede. They have Asteroids, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, all of those classic real video games from the 80s, and of course, literally hundreds of different types of pinball machines, and of all types. It's amazing. It really is. Spy Hunter. Yep, that was another video game. That was that the one with the gun in the holster, or the rifle? I forgot which one that was. That's right. Yeah, Paul lives right around the corner from the Pinball Hall of Fame. Yeah, he doesn't live too far from me. Neither does Chris Yee. They don't live too far, because I know, yeah, Paul and Teresa live pretty close together, because Paul and Teresa, you guys live next to the university, I believe. So Robotron is great twin stick shooter. Yes. Oh, so Paul, you know the game. Yeah, Robotron. That was the first one, because I remember. So I was a freshman in college in 1981, and I didn't do a lot of laundry because I was spending my quarters in the video games, and they were lame back then. They were really lame. But there was one called Vanguard, and that was our favorite one. And it was just a very simple one where you had to control it was like the scrolling down of the screen, and you had to control the ship through it, and then you could do it sideways, and the screen would just move across. But yeah, we used to like that. So Spy Hunter was with a car. Oh, okay. I don't know if I remember that one, if I'm familiar with that one. But yeah, pinball games from the 80s, right? And then there were these guys. I remember at the there was what do you call it? The student union at BU, because that's where I went. They used to have these guys would play Defender. The one that was a double controller one too, right? You flip around, you catch the little aliens, drop it down, you shoot the thing, the little aliens drop down, you catch them on your ship. And so yeah, just watching those guys, it was fantastic. Oh, Tempest, that was when you spin. I remember that one, spin, right? And the things would shoot down at you. I think that was Tempest, right? Yeah, I used to like that one. What's the first gamer board game that I ever played? Oh, I specifically remember this, and that was Catan. Settlers of Catan. It was funny because my first and second were both on ships that nobody on land, and that's why I was so late to the game. Nobody in land ever showed me these games. I learned them all on ships, but it was Settlers of Catan, and I thought it was the most fantastic thing ever. Unfortunately, it wasn't my game, so it was the singer. It was his game, and I just had met him, and I played with them, and I wanted to play it again, but I didn't want to ask him for it. I got to play one more time before that trip was over. Got home, bought the game, of course. But my second one, I learned from a Polish trio. They were a classical trio that used to play in the atrium or wherever on one of the Holland America ships I was on. They taught me Puerto Rico. And man, I lost my mind after I learned Puerto Rico, because that was a whole step up from Catan. Because there wasn't any luck, right? With Catan, the dice, and all that kind of stuff. And Puerto Rico was just straight. You got to decide, make your own decisions, build your own thing. And even to this day, Puerto Rico, every time I play that game, I always say to myself, why haven't I played this game in so long? It's just so good. It really is just such a good game. Oh, well, James B., thank you for being here. Loving your interviews. Recently found your channel and loving it. Who was my favorite interview so far? Man, that's hard to I mean, I've had so many fun ones. Because just my last couple ones I did, like yesterday, they haven't been posted yet, but I did Cole Worley, which is fantastic. Great talking to him. I did Scott Gata from Renegade Games. I interviewed who else have I interviewed recently? What's his name? I can't remember his name. Oh, Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Very nice guy. Had fun with him. Z Garcia, Tom, Sam. I don't want to forget anybody, you know, Paula Deming. I mean, they were all, I mean, I had fun with everybody. I had a really good time with so many people. They're all lovely people, and there's so many more I'd like to get to, of course. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite one. I guess, you know, sort of the one that just really helped me was Z. For some reason, the interview I did with Z, because he was really open about, because the story about Z Garcia, he worked with the Dice Tower, in case you don't know him. He actually, when he was 7, 8, or 9 years old, I forgot the age, he came over, he left Cuba on a raft with like 27 other people, I think it was, and got picked up by the Coast Guard, like out in the freaking Gulf of Mexico. So it was interesting to hear his story, you know, about coming to America and all that kind of stuff and leaving Cuba and everything. So that got so many views and so many comments, and people got to see the other interviews on the channel. It was a real trickle down effect. I got more subscribers from that too, and it just really opened up a world. So it was really, I guess that's one of my favorites, I would have to say, because for some reason that review really resonated with a lot of people, and that just really kind of like just made the channel really explode. It was really good. So I really enjoyed that. That was really nice. Grant's first gamer game was Chaos in the Old World, but he's never gone back. We have to play that. Another game. There's just games I just need to check off, so at least I can say I can play them. But again, I may just never go back to it, but I just at least want to try it. You played online. Yes. You know, and the thing about it is, you know, Catan, unfortunately, I don't play. It's a game I don't even remember the last time I took off the shelf. Oh, I actually do remember the last time I took it off the shelf. I think Joe Foster, when Adam was working at Meepleville, we taught him, because that's the last time I think I played. So it's probably been like 4 years. But I haven't taken it off and played myself. But that was it. Yeah, that was your first two. It had so many rules. And you know what's funny, though? When I teach the game and people play it now, I see it at Meepleville, and Grant, you may notice this too, is it's a long game, or it can be a long game. It's surprising how long it is. Oh, well, thank you, Alan. You liked Z's interview too, and I see Steven did as well, and James B. So yeah, so you can, like I said, it was, yeah, it really was. And again, that's one of the things why I guess I've been very fortunate to get a lot of people. You know, they have seen them, and when I, ask them, they watch, and then they come back and say, yeah, sure, Tim, I'd like to do a video. Sometimes I get no's, of course, and sometimes people just don't answer. There's a lot who don't answer, because if I've done 20 or 30 interviews, I've probably asked 100 people. So but yeah, I try to talk about stuff about them, because especially somebody like Z, right? We'll just use him because you guys made the comments. I was talking about him. When you see him, all you just see him is reviewing a game, talking about a game. Yeah, you may like him. You might, like the way he reviews and does stuff, but do you really know anything about him? So that is kind of what I like to do when I do interviews, is get to know something about these people that we wouldn't have the chance to ever know about them. Because I think that's important. You because they don't, when they do their job, right, in reviewing and doing stuff, they're talking about games and products and stuff like that. They're doing it for us, so we don't really get to know about them or their background, their history and stuff. So that's why I like to do that stuff and really talk about them. Paul grew up playing a choir, cribbage, and hotels with his dad, and betrayal brought him back into gaming. So cribbage, yes. So this is, and I was literally one of those people. I just love games. Would always play games. Even my wife and I, when we first met, we used to play games every Friday with my mom and her unfortunate other husband there. But we would play games every Friday with them. We would play games. But we played like categories, Pictionary, all those kinds of things. But we loved playing games. When I was a kid, cribbage, backgammon, I played to death. But of course, I played all the other games: Battleship, Life, Landslide. We used to play that. I used to go up to Maine with my cousins every summer. We played the heck out of Landslide all the time. So I used to play all those type of games. And he mentioned Betrayal. Betrayal, it is surprising how it is a lot of people, more of like the later in high school, the junior, senior, freshman, sophomore in college. They seem to, that's one of the first games they played, and it seems like they all love it because of that trader mechanism, and I still haven't played that one yet. Grant was supposed to teach me the Scooby-Doo Betrayal for my first foray into playing Betrayal. But yeah, that is a lot of people's first game as well, Paul. Catan and Ticket to Ride are for game enthus. Yes, Ticket to Ride also. Again, those 4 games I mentioned, for me personally, I made a video on it too. The 4 games you should know: Catan, Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, and Pandemic. Those are, to me, the 4 classic base Euro or enthusiast games. I guess that's another word for it. I don't know. Can I ask Grant that question? Is Chaos Warhammer 40K Chaos in the Old World? I don't think it is. I think it's a board game. Pretty sure. But Grant can answer that. Am I still playing Pinochle? My grandparents taught me when I was a kid, and we played weekly as family for years. Unfortunately, John, I don't. It was actually Grant's parents who taught me how to play Pinochle, because they used to come in. So I think Grant and I were partners, right? Grant, you and I were partners, and your parents would be partners, and we would play. So they taught me, because I know Grant has played his whole life with his family, and I love it. I wish I would like to play it more, because I love trick-taking games. Hearts, Bridge, The Crew, of course, that game, and other trick-taking games. But I love trick-taking games, so I would like to play more of Pinochle. So I just have to get Grant and his parents to play with them. Let me see. Like many, I've played a lot of solo games this year and realized I really enjoy them. Have my gaming habits been changed this year? Now, Tim, are you asking probably specifically because of COVID? My gaming habits have changed because I don't get to play a whole lot. However, when I do, what I really enjoy, because I've really only played games with 2 people, Steven, who's on here, and Marcus. He's the other longtime gaming friend that Steven and I, actually, Steven introduced me to Marcus many, many years ago. But when we get together, we play games that all 3 of us like, we want to play, and we kind of make sure we rule up most of the time, or at least somebody does to teach us. But they're all the kind of dry Euro games, because we like the same type of games. So it's really good. So I guess to answer your question, the habit I've changed, instead of always trying to chase the cult of the new, which Carlo does every week, him and Randy are always playing the newest, hottest things. I like playing those games we know are good, we've been wanting to play, or we've already played. Like tomorrow, I'm playing, what are we playing? Clans of Caledonia, which I love. I played, several times before. Glenmore, which we played 2 weeks ago, playing it again, and Rococo, because I got the deluxe edition, so I want to open that up, break that out, and I played that before. So we're playing games that we like, we know we're going to enjoy, have a good time, and play again, because we know they're good, solid games, instead of trying to chase the cult of the new. So I've just been doing that a lot lately. And so, yeah, so Tim, this would be good. Maybe you can throw a couple up there. Katie would like to know, what are some of your favorite solo games? So I'm not a big solo gamer. I played Clans of Caledonia actually as a solo game to learn it, because I knew it would be a game I would like, right up my alley. But Hostage Negotiator, I think, is fantastic. That's the only kind of real solo game I've ever sort of played a little bit, but I don't really play games by myself. I enjoy, getting together with my friends and playing and stuff like that. But Katie, just so you know, there are a lot of games that aren't specifically solo player games. You can play solo, especially now, right? Because it's almost, I'm not going to say mandatory, and Paul can probably chime in about this, but it's almost come commonplace for a solo variant or whatever to be put in games nowadays. Because I know there's David Terzi. He was, what did he call it? Audiba, I think it was called. and he put a lot of effort into making sure that there were solo player modes. So there's a lot in a lot of games. And even games like Agricola was made from 1 to 4. There are a lot of these. I wish I could think of others off the bat, but there are a lot of games that you can play with one person. And then, of course, the ones that I know, besides Hachinegoda Shader, you've got Honorum, Sylvian, Castellian, that trilogy. You've got Friday by Freeman Freeze, the little Robinson Crusoe little deck builder. And again, there's a lot of the, some of the more, and you can go on Board Game Geek, type in solo games. There'll be a whole list of thousands of them for you, because I know like the biggest ones, if you want really heavy ones, I would probably say are Mage Knight and Robinson Crusoe are the two that come to mind for the really heavy, deep solo games that people like to play. So let me see. Oh, okay. See, I told you, Paul, he can answer it. He knows everything about board games. Chaos in the Old World is based on the 40K universe, but it's a board game and not a mini game. So, okay. Yeah. Like, as soon as his parents are willing to leave a house again, I know. And it's good that they have that luxury, right? Because his parents are retired, and it's good that if they're not comfortable leaving, having to come out, they can stay in and stay hunkered down so they can stay safe, not have to worry about perhaps catching COVID. Oh, John. Tomorrow you'll be playing Barrage for my first time with my wife. Very excited. So, I don't know if Steven's still here. We just played for the first time, Steven, Marcus, and I, about 2 months ago. And I think since then we've played it like 3 more times. Barrage is fantastic. Fantastic. It's right over there. Barrage is fantastic. If you like those type of games, John, those heavier, like dry Euros, whatever they want to call them, whatever, Barrage is just fantastic. It jumped way high up on my list real quick. Really, really quick. Like playing Maracaibo solo. I've only played that once. I played that on the Dice Tower Cruise actually this past year. And it was okay. I probably have to play it again. Because I only played it once, an instructional game, first time. But it was okay. It was okay, but I probably need to play it again, I guess, to really get the thing. Yeah, I know you would, Steven. Yeah, because again, and see, like I said, Steven's one of my, my game group right there, and we like the same type of games. That's what, like, Marcus, Steven, and I, of course, each one of us will have the games that the others necessarily don't like, but like 85% of the games we love, all of us love. So that's why it's great for us to get together and play games, because we love this one certain type of games, and it's really good. Yes, and for example, speaking of that, oh yes, hello, James. I'm sorry. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate it. Good seeing you. James is a fantastic supporter of the stuff we've been doing. He's with us on the chats a lot, and I really appreciate it. James watches the videos on YouTube, makes comments and stuff like that, and that's all appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're doing well, James. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Steven does not like smartphones. So here's an example of one game that he doesn't like that Marcus and I love, and I really like. Smartphone is the reason I don't know why I like it so much. It's not that difficult a game. It's a very just clean game. It's really quick too for as much of a game as it is, because you got a huge board, you're doing all these things. It's so quick, and I just like it. I like it, and Steven doesn't. So there you can see. Oh, the Kabuki Kid joined us. Hello. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I saw you today. I missed, unfortunately, the cable guy messed up my internet today. I was supposed to be on that thing today, the Dice Tower, the farewell kind of all of the Zoom thing, but by the time he got done, I was too late to get on the feed. And I see him all the time. You are there all the time. And I think Tom even made a comment that you were at every single chat, I think, of the daily chats. So thank you for joining here. And I know you know about our show, or I think you do. I hope you do. that'll be on Board Game Geek on Wednesday, starting January 6th. So that'll be a regular show. Every Wednesday we'll be doing that. And I've also had ideas to do sort of my own thing on YouTube and Twitch. And that's why, Paul, I wanted to talk to you because, again, you've got all the information. So if I have questions, I know I can get an answer from you. But I was thinking of doing my own thing, too, maybe a different day. And it'd be great if all you guys could, come and support that, too, and watch that as well. But, again, once I get it together and I do that, I'll let everybody know. Yes. You're welcome, James, for such a warm welcome. You're welcome. Because again, as you know, right, the people, the friends that we have in the chat that James has been part of, he's been coming and watching a lot. They're just all lovely people. And isn't that great about our hobby? If you guys think about it, I mean, the overwhelming majority of people in gaming, and I mean overwhelming majority, are really good, nice people. And then you'll get that little bit who maybe sometimes, have a glitch, right? Like they're good 99% of the time, and all of a sudden you'll see a bad side of them, like they'll get mad at a game or do something or whatever. And then, of course, you got the very few who just aren't nice people, but they're just not nice people in anything they do, not playing games. But the overwhelming majority of gamers and game people are just lovely. And it's good to have that wonderful, nice group get together, fun people. And I've already got them, and I'm getting the requests and I'm lining it up. So every Wednesday, we're going to have a full show. We'll be talking about a lot of different things. You'll see a lot of different faces. Got a lot of new people, a lot of different faces you'll be seeing too. And my hope is the more and more popular it gets, hopefully, and the more and more people watch it and see it and like it, we'll have more and more different people in, and also maybe like special guests, like a lot of the people I interviewed. It would be nice to have, a special guest every week or different people come in like that, and maybe even expand it. Like I said, maybe I can do it here in another night, different kind of thing. So, because I've talked about that before, right? When it comes especially to YouTube and the channel and the videos and stuff like that, one of the things is finding your voice, what you like to do. Like, for example, Alex Radcliffe for Board Game Co. When I just interviewed him a few days ago, and he just started a year ago, like December 11th, I think was his year anniversary. He's up to 17,000 subscribers. He does a fantastic job. He's really into it. He loves it. He does reviews. So you could blow up and you could do that. Mick and Starla with Our Family Plays Games, they just celebrated their 10,000th, right? And they've just started in February, not even a year or something. But I'm not a reviewer. I don't like to necessarily review games. Number one, I don't get to play a whole lot of the newer games, and that's what people want to see mostly. I like talking to people. I like having discussions. Civil discourse even is fun for me. I love it. Stephen knows because I said, Stephen, I need to talk to you about politics. Call me. And Grant, I know I've made Grant's ears bleed talking about that stuff. So that's why I do the show with the people, because I like doing stuff like that. So yeah, let me see. What's next for the Meepleville brand? You are always trying new things. Any big ideas brewing? Well, yeah, like I talked about for Meepleville 2.0, Grant Trung and I have talked about a lot of different things, and yeah, we're all going to be doing new things, but nothing really big. I guess the big thing is just the more organized. We're going to be opening earlier. I'm trying to get the mornings more geared towards senior citizens, because they're up earlier, go to bed late earlier too. So it'd be nice to have them playing games in the morning. But yeah, just trying to get there first, right? Trying to survive that length of time, which I think we will. But that's the first big thing. But yeah, just it's kind of like starting over, right? In a sense, it's like we're not starting from scratch, from sort of zero, right? Zero to building, because we have a following, we have an audience, we have customers, we have people who know about it, all that kind of stuff. So it'll just be restarting. And I'm really looking forward to that because, fortunately, and I mean fortunately, I have both Grant and Trung there who are just as committed as I am to, seeing this come back to life and seeing this, succeed again. So it's great having those partners with me to make sure that we can get Meepleville back to where it was, because once it does, it'll be good for all of us, right? I'll be able to make not more money. I'll be able to make some money again, but not for a while because I have to pay back the money I'm losing now. But anyway, and Grant will be able to make more money and Trunk will be able to make more money because I think it'll be just better for the three of us once things get rolling. So that's really the only thing hoping. The big idea is just to really, really get it back. And I think it's going to be great because I think people are real excited just to get back doing social stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of good plans. It's going to be nice. We've got great people also like Lorraine. She's not necessarily an employee, but she's our D&D host. And even, she is committed, to do like the 3 days or organize it and stuff with the D&D. So we'll be doing Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We'll be getting that back. And a lot of people have looked forward to and commented and asked about that. So that'll be fantastic. The bridge will be 6 days a week. Really looking forward to that. Hopefully the chess club, backgammon will get bigger. Pinochle, when they first came, they had 4 tables, but again, people got scared, so they're only down to 1. So hopefully they'll be back up to 4 to 6 tables. Euchre, now they're at 4, 5, 6 tables. Hopefully they'll be back up to 7 to 8 tables like they were before. So just be big to see all these groups and all the people and see Meepleville breathing again. So that's kind of the really big thing I'm looking forward to. Do I have any other cool interviews planned soon? Been loving those. None planned. Well, yes, I should. Okay, the 2 that I'm working on. So like I said, so I have 4. The 4 that I have in the can per se. I have so I have Cole Worley that I've already done. I have Scott Gata from Renegade Games I've already done. I have Jeremy Howard, the reviewer who works with Man vs. Meeple already done. And I have Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I have those already done. It's just a matter of uploading them and then putting them out to YouTube. The 2 others I'm working on, I've already got kind of commitments to do. It's just a matter of organizing right now are Eric Martin, Eric Martin from Board Game Geek, and Jason Matthews, that's his name. Jason Matthews, the designer of Twilight Struggle. So those are the 2 that I'm working on just to schedule so we can get together, do an interview. So yeah. And the reason I kind of slowed off for a while is had a little glitch there for about 2, 3, 4 weeks. Just was a little bit down in the dumps, with the politics, the election, just the store, the loans, all this stuff. Just So now I'm starting to get reinvigorated, getting things going again. So you'll be seeing more of the interviews. And thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. Here. How long will the Wednesday Bgg shows be? What time slot do you have planned for that? That is Wednesday nights starting January 6th. That'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yes, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 2 hours right now. And again, I'm trying to do another one too, because again, that's what I like doing. So that's kind of the direction I'm going to try moving into to do that. So yeah, and again, there'll be a lot of new faces, a lot of stuff, and we'd love to have you there. Thank you for asking, because I see you're you're all over the place. And I think I don't know your real name, but I'm sorry about that. So maybe one day I will get to know that, get to meet you in person. But I do know Kabuki Kid, and I think everybody knows Kabuki Kid because they see your name scrolling through the chat all the time. Oh, okay. So Tim was saying to Katie, Forgotten Waters is so what I've heard about that, this is a pirate game, and I've heard that the app integration is fantastic, right? With the music, sound effects, and all that kind of stuff. So I've heard really good things about Forgotten Waters. Yes, Scott is fantastic. I knew, because Scott and I are friends, and I knew a little bit about him, but now I got to know more, and he has just worked hard. He really has to get to where Renegade is, and he's got a lot of surprises. He talks about some of the things. I don't want to spill too much, right? I'd rather have you watch the interview, but Renegade is just blowing up. He's just got so many big things. IP, I will tell you, things planned with Renegade. and different product lines and stuff. He's just, yeah, Renegade is blowing up, and Scott is fantastic. Oh, hey, it is Alex. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Oh, thanks for coming in. Yeah, like I said, Alex, it was fantastic talking to Alex. It was really great to be there. You know what's funny is that and we were laughing about this. Alex is, and it's funny because, you know what, I think I should probably keep the film rolling, because it'd be nice to show you or kind of record what goes on after the interview. Because I was talking to Alex, and I guess I can talk about this, right? Because it wasn't an interview. And I was telling him, I was like, Alex, you are just so analytical. And I think that's what people find so endearing about him, and why he's got that big, tremendous audience. I say it's so endearing because he's just so freaking analytical. And then he was telling me that his wife, what did she say? He said that, I forgot what it was, but basically, like, if somebody asked Alex a question about, Alex, can you tell me about this one thing? And he said, and Alex is like, well, no, I'll actually tell you 4 things about it or whatever. Like he just, so yeah, it was fantastic. And thank you for being here, Alex. It's fantastic that you came and joined us. I really appreciate that. And Alex, I'm going to invite him. I think I told him about the show on Wednesdays too. So I'll ask him to come and do that too. Let me see. Do you play games during the Bgg show? No, we do not. A lot of people do that. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't necessarily, I personally don't really enjoy just watching people play games. I don't really have that voyeuristic thing. I don't know. I like the interaction. I like the talking. I like finding out what people are doing, what games they're playing, hearing their thoughts, hearing their ideas, and all that kind of stuff. So, no, we won't be playing any games during that at all. It'll just be, you can go and watch, like on the Meepleville channel. I have the Thursday night get together. You can just go and watch and see what the kind of things we talk about. Like, what do we do in the last one? We had a little mini list, our top 3 games of 2020. What we've been doing lately as far as video content, what kind of new games we played, talked about different things, different topics and stuff like that. So that's what it'll be. It'd be more of a topic-based show, and have people give their input and their discussion about different kind of things. Okay. Here are 2 of James's games of the year: Warp's Edge and Search for Planet X. Now, I haven't heard of Warp's Edge, but Search for Planet X, has been getting a lot of press. A lot of people had said really, really good things about that. Oh, and there you go, Katie. James has offered these 2 as well that you can be played solo. So you got some other suggestions there too. Yep. So good things about Warp's. Oh, his wife had a top 14. Okay. Yep. Oh, you know what? It's funny because, again, I made the mistake. I guess I could spill this a little bit about Alex. I didn't realize he didn't do the trading full time, his Board Game Go company. I just, again, I made that mistake a couple times in interviews, right? And again, that's why I want to get to know people and talk about them behind the scenes, because a lot of times you assume things. Or maybe I assume things. Maybe we all do. I don't know. But I assumed he did that full time because he's like, I got 5 employees. He spends so much money, this and that, blah, blah, with the games. And of course he's, and he's he's more BGG than Aldi is, in a sense. You know what I mean? He is just all up in BGG, knows their formula, their analytics, their grading system. He's fantastic. But I assumed he was full time, but he's not. But he really does want to be a full-time content creator, and he's going to make a fantastic full-time content creator. So I hope sooner or later he's able to get to his dream of doing that, being a full-time content creator, because it'll just be really, really good for all of us. Yes. Yeah, it's a good interview. You'll be happy with it, James. Oh, yes. Yes and no. You'll unfortunately, again, that's why I was telling Kabuki Kid I missed the Dice Tower thing today, because my internet's been messing up. And I told Alex this a couple times when we were talking. It just kept lagging a lot, the video. So I think I'll still put up this video, but I was thinking of maybe audio because I just been having really bad internet problems. And and they got to come out again because when he came out today, it sort of messed up and then I got to fix it. So the video quality, unfortunately, is not the best in that. So it'll still come out good. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is my aunt. Hello, Aunt Madeline. How are you doing? Is it my Aunt Madeline? I don't know. Maybe it is. Because I do have an aunt named Madeline. Or maybe it's just a different Madeline Tim. But if you are my aunt, hello, Aunt Madeline. Thank you for joining us. Nice to have you here. Oh, for instance, see, Alex says he assumes too. Suddenly, for the first time, I'm wondering whether you're all Meepleville or have other things. Oh, well, actually, no. I guess right now, I mean, I'm not really retired. I'm sort of, I just wanted to get off the road that I was talking about because traveling so much. So yeah, Meepleville and Dice Tower West and, other little things I have on the side that I've been doing. But yeah, gaming is pretty much my life. So that's what I do. Pretty much all of that. Let me see, where am I? Oh, here we go. All right. Yes, we talked about Hotch Negotiator for a solo game and the Final Girl thing. Okay. Yep. Board Game Co. I guess he's doing episodes with somebody for 2020. And the way these things work, guys, just so you know, there's like a 20-second delay, I think. So, oh, it is. Well, hello, Aunt Madeline. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here watching this. And Phil, hey, Phil. There's my friend from North Virginia. Phil, I met, did we meet through Board Game Geek, I think? Phil was here in the military. He was an officer. I forgot what his job was, but he was a gamer. And he used to be part of, we used to game together. He used to come here. Phil was the one I used to play. What was the Uwe Rosenberg 2 player? The, with the peat moss or whatever. I can't think of the name of that game. Fields of Arle. There we go. Yes, we used to have a regular date weekly. Phil would come by after work, and we would play Fields of Arle. And he taught me brass. We used to play some really good games with Phil. Thank you, Phil. It's good. Good having you here. And Phil was the one who hooked me up with Jason Matthews that I was talking about, so I can go ahead and interview him soon. All right. So let me see. All right. Bye, Alan. Alan has to go. Thank you for joining, Alan. Really appreciated having you here. Please make sure you can try to come and see us. All right. Starting in January on Board Game Geek, Wednesday night, 6 to 8. Nice to have you there. All right. And we got a couple minutes because I'm going to be closing it here at 7:30. Wow. I can't believe an hour and a half. It's gone by really, really quick. Oh, yes. And Susie says hi also. Phil's wife. Yes, she was doing photography, I think, right? That's what she went to school, like for a program or something like that. But yeah, so tell her I said hi and the kids as well. So it'll be really good to, it's really good to hear from you, Phil. And so yeah. Well, anyway, folks, like I said, I'll be closing up at 7:30 here Pacific time. So I just want to talk about a few things before I go. Thanks again for all your support. It's fantastic that you guys are here. We have such a wonderful community. It's nice seeing the familiar faces. Thank you, Alex from Board Game Go, for joining us. Kabuki Kid coming in here. James, Tim, Katie, Alan, he left. Let me see who else is here. Dan, Stephen, Grant, all of you people who came in and joined. Aunt Madeline, thank you for stopping by. And it's really great that you've all been so supportive of myself, of Meepleville, the channel, the YouTube. And again, Dice Tower West 2022. Dave and I just had a meeting yesterday, as a matter of fact, because we're going to start already. Every Wednesday, we're starting to have our regular meetings for Dice Tower West 2022. And I can promise you, it is going to be epic, fantastic. We have a lot. I can't reveal a whole lot now, but I just tell you, plan for it now. It's going to be fantastic. Dice Tower West 2022 is going to be something you do not want to miss. The first week or two of March is when the dates are. So that's all I can tell you right now. Also, the show on Board Game Geek, starting January 6th, Wednesday night, it'll be right on the front page of Board Game Geek. You click Board Game Geek, boom, the show will be right there, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. I'll also be streaming it here on the YouTube channel as well, at least for the beginning. So it'll be in two places, or maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, default by going to Board Game Geek and watching it there, and you'll get to see a whole bunch of really wonderful people. We'll be talking about all types of things, board games, and it'll be really, really great. So thank you all for coming in. It's been fantastic getting to talk to all of you, getting to share a little bit about myself and different things, and we'll see you guys soon. Really looking forward to that first episode on January 6th, Wednesday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time on Board Game Geek. Anyway, take care, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Wonderful holidays. And yes, we are all going to have a much better 2021. All right. Good night, everybody.